Hi, good evening and welcome to Rangers Radio. Joining myself on the show tonight with Southside is the one and only Bridgeman. How you doing, Bridge?
Oh, can I say a huge good evening to you? Massive good evening to you, all the techie boys and all the guys in the lobby. And surely, for goodness sake, all these Rangers fans all over the world. Good evening. Welcome to Rangers Radio. What a night.
Certainly was last night, Bridge, eh? Absolutely fantastic. What Ibrox was absolutely rocking, eh? Superb.
I'll tell you, I've been supporting Rangers for about 65 plus years, and I've never seen anything like it. Never seen anything like it. That is just wonderful. It was a fabulous, fabulous night, and it just edge to edge, end to end. It was just incredible. All the emotions were pouring up. You turned around, there was people greeting next to you. Incredible stuff. Just incredible. So. What a night, what a night. Well, thank you very much, Gio.
Aye, definitely, mate. Well, what we'll do is we'll get the view for the Bridge, pal. I'll get you to do that, let the listeners hear it, and then what we'll do is we'll open the phone lines after that, eh?
Absolutely, bud. Absolutely.
Right, well, let's hear a view from the Bridge.
Take it anymore. View from the bridge. Can't take it anymore.
Well, good evening, everyone, and welcome to A View from the Bridge, covering the Rangers versus RB Leipzig game at Ibrox Stadium on Thursday, the 5th of May, 2022, the Europa League semi-final match. The referee was Arthur Soares Diaz. The attendance, approximately 49,000. I couldn't get the actual official attendance, so I'm quite happy with that. At the start of the proceedings, there was a lovely minute's silence for Jimmy Bell, who had just passed away, which was impeccably observed by all. Very emotional. Thank you to everyone. The Bridgeman has to say this was the best game and team performance I have ever seen at Ibrox. A stunning result for us with a 3-1 victory on the night and a 3-2 aggregate scoreline. A really brilliant night for the Bears. The goals were brilliant. Even the Leipzig goal was great. There was something to behold, seriously. The fans were out of this world. If there are any weaknesses in our stadium, then the noise of our fantastic fans would find them out, that's for sure. What a noise. The bounces last night were a testimony to our performance, and I was up and took part in every one of them. Stone mad, just about killed me. I've been supporting Rangers for around 65 years, and this was the most exciting I have ever seen. Just fantastic. I'm sure that most of the Bears in attendance last night would agree, even if they were watching it on TV. What a sight that was. The after-match celebrations were just marvellous to watch, with some of the team and fans weeping with emotion. Just amazing. The lap of honour was incredible. Never seen anything like it. The players were singing the songs along with the fans. Just wonderful. Huge congratulations to my club and the board of directors and everyone connected to it. A fantastic club. But the mightiest cheer goes to the team, the manager and his staff, all of the players. A massive well done to all of them. From the bottom of my heart, I thank them all for their performance last night. It made an old man very happy. Our dream season in Europe will now culminate in a Europa League final against Eintracht Frankfurt in Seville, Spain. We're on our way to Sevilla. We're on our way. Just great. Heard that most of the night last night. Both teams go at the start of the game. Sorry, going to the game then. Both teams go at it straight from the kickoff. Rangers press early. On a half a minute, the high ball into the Leipzig half sees Campbell challenging Kamara, and he elbows Kamara on the back of the net. The referee plays on, and Aribo gets the ball 10 yards on, and Campbell brings him down. Free kick to the Rangers. Could easily have been a yellow card for Campbell for 2 fouls. On 7 minutes, lovely play down the right from Wright, and Tav sees Wright get a nice cross into the box, which is cleared, but only as far as Jack on the edge of the box. And he controls and gets in a good left foot shot, which the keeper makes a good save. On 9 minutes, Jack picks up the ball 30 yards out, but loses control, and the ball is picked up by Hendricks, who sends a great pass across to Nkuku. Gets in a shot that's blocked, and the ball goes high over the bar for a corner. On 10 minutes, Olmo takes the corner from the left and gets in a fabulous cross, which is met by Orban, who heads wide. And our defence never even got anywhere near that ball. Never got anywhere near it. On 11 minutes, Campbell fouls Aribo again. Free kick, no yellow card. On 18 minutes, Kamara wins the ball out on the left wing and slides in a lovely pass to Kent, who charges towards the box in the inside left channel. He gets close to the 6-yard line and crosses low to the far post, and there is our Tavernier, ready to slide the ball into the net. 1-0 to the famous. Great goal by Tav, super play by Kent, well fought Kamara, and nice pass to Kent. On 24 minutes, Rangers pressing high. Kamara passes the ball to Aribo on the left, and he squares the ball to Wright inside the box, who just lays off the ball to Kamara, who shoots from around 18 yards with his left foot, and the ball finds its way into the net. Just fabulous down at the left-hand corner. What a great goal for Rangers. 2-0 to the famous. Brilliant goal, Kamara. Lovely layoff for Wright, and lovely pass from Aribo. Ibrox erupts. We are ahead in the tie, and the fans go absolutely mental. What a sound from the stadium. In 25 minutes, Leipzig are pressing us again, and almost breaking through, and is brought down by Bassi. Free kick and yellow card to Bassi. About 29 minutes, Kamara finds Borna on the left, and he runs in and crosses high to the back post. Taff heads down for Aribo, who somehow or other misses a glorious chance. A sitter indeed. A let off for Leipzig there. 31 minutes, a great high clearance ball from Leipzig is met by Goldson, who clears, but is adjudged to have elbowed Poulsen in the challenge. Goldson not happy, but it's yellow carded. At 36 minutes, Campbell takes out Kent with a very bad tackle near waist high. Free kick, but unbelievably, no yellow card. Referee, come on, get a grip. 43 minutes, Borna lunges into a tackle with Heinrichs, just short of the 18-yard line. Ref gives the free kick and yellow cards for Borna. So that's 3 defenders booked. 44 minutes, free kick taken by Angelino. A tremendous left foot shot from just outside the box and is blocked by the wall. And it's in this case, it was Maribo who gets smashed in the face and is then taken off injured. 45 plus 3 is substitution. Rangers, Sakala replaces Aribo. Then it's half time. Second half begins. Rangers start the second half well on 52 minutes. Wright picks up the ball, beats Kemple and drives forward, but is taken out from behind. A very bad tackle. Free kick and yellow card. At long last for that boy Campbell. Well done, referee. Thank you. 59 minutes substitution for Rangers. Liam Balogun replaces Ryan Jack because of injury. Rangers substitute Scott Arfield replaces Scott Wright. Leipzig are pressing high, great pressure on us, and they're playing very well indeed when they're up there. And we need to hang on. 69 minutes, Campbell picks the ball up in midfield, passes a lovely ball through to Nkuku, who slips in a fabulous pass to Lema, who is through on goal. And McGregor, he takes a shot and McGregor saves it. What another fabulous save by our keeper. Marvellous save, and the ball's well cleared. Leipzig are still high. We can't get them away from us. In 70 minutes, Angelina picks the ball up, left midfield, puts in an exquisite cross into the Rangers box, but it's met by Nkuku, who places the ball to McGregor's left and scores. 2-1 to the famous, 2-2 on aggregate. Oh, we're down. The Rangers fans are quite quiet at this point in time. On 80 minutes, a free kick tab inside the Leipzig half towards the far post where Goldson tries for the header but can't get there, and the ball goes out in the left wing to Kent, who goes for the byline and gets in a beautiful high cross right to the far post, dead on, nearly hitting the bar. The keeper's stretching, but he can't get it. Hits the defender on the back of the head. The ball bounces out, and there's Lundstrom, who smashes a left foot shot into the net. 3-1 for the famous. great goal, Lundstrom, brilliant play, and crossed by Kent. 83 minutes, Leipzig are pressing high, and what pressure Rangers are under here. What pressure. Rangers players are defending for their lives as Leipzig are pressing for their life. What a game. 87 minutes, the crowd are screaming for it. At every touch of the ball, the crowd are going mad. On 90+1, Lundstrom chases the ball down and gets to it before the Leipzig player, and Lundstrom rushes on forward and challenges another Leipzig player and comes away with the ball, and he passes a nice pass for Sakala, who's now a one-on-one with the goalkeeper. Unfortunately, Sakala gets a shot in, but the keeper saves. But he was offside anyway, so it wouldn't matter. They're just clearing the ball anyway. The tension's unbearable. And 93 minutes for us at the last, the full-time whistle goes. What a relief. And the whole place goes absolutely bananas. Seriously, never seen anything like it ever. Player out of 10, all the players. I've given every single one of the players 9 out of 10, except Lundstrom. I give it Lundstrom the extra point. But I don't really want to split them up. But Lundstrom was outstanding for me. He was really outstanding. All the guys played very well. So my man of the match was Lundstrom, and I thought Bassey and Golson and Kent outstanding as well. All the players deserve to be listed. So down to the stats, Rangers and Leipzig. Possession 37% Rangers, 63% Leipzig. Total shots 8 for Rangers, 11 for Leipzig. Shots on target 4 for Rangers, 2 for Leipzig. Corners 4 for Rangers, 3 for Leipzig. Fouls 13 for Rangers, 9 for Leipzig. And that is the end of A View from a Bridge.
View from a bridge. Can't take it anymore. View from a bridge. Can't take it anymore.
I think that Terry one's been taping me. Did you have a tape on me last night? Fabulous, Terry. Brilliant.
Unbelievable last night when the final whistle went, Bridge.
My
Absolutely unbelievable. The only criticism I had of your markings, if it was just me, mate, was I'd have gave the subs a 9 and everybody else a 10. But
not a bad thought, actually. Not a bad thought.
But apart from that, Ibrox, by the way, I take my hat off to every single person that was in that stadium last night. I'm not kidding. From start to finish, he's done the support, done the players and the club proud. And the players went on to make us proud and get Glasgow Rangers to a Europa League final. Absolutely unbelievable, Bridge. Like you said earlier, the scenes, the heart, the desire, effort for the players, the will to win. Everything was on display, you know. So it was just an unbelievable display for Glasgow Rangers last night against a team that was formidable. They are a good team. I think the support, in my opinion, I think we got to them, Bridge. I think we got to them because we were that vocal in the first 15, 20 minutes and we got that goal. And I think it just increased the volume levels to the second one. So I think that was a big part in it. And it's to every man and woman that was their child. It was amazing. Absolutely amazing to produce that atmosphere at Ibrox last night, Bridge.
Yeah, incredible. I think that you're right as far as what was happening. Although they were attacking, they weren't attacking with the endeavours that they've had in the past with against us. And once they got their goal, which was it looked as if you're a supporter, you watch, you think that's going to come. No surprise. So the guy gets through, and McGregor makes a save, 1-on-1. Big McGregor gets a save in, and then within the minutes of that, the guy gets what a beautiful pass. And the guy only just lifted his foot and lobbed it straight into the net. Just magic. Great goal. 4 great goals last night, by the way. 4 great goals. I've got no qualms about that. And yeah, you're right. Once they scored, that started to lift them, and we then started to cave in a wee bit. You know.
I think I think that was later on, mind you, like second half, and I think that had to do with probably when we made the substitutions. But going back to like the first 15, 20 minutes, it was mostly us. We dominated. We'd have high up in the wing, and we were pushing forward. We made a couple of errors in passing, which gave them the turnover. But I thought we were pretty comfortable in the game. I thought we competed well. I thought we showed a lot of physicality. So I thought we were dominant, and I thought with the crowd being as loud as they were, you could see them knocking balls out the park, Bridge, heading it out the park. The communication to them. And people say, I had said on here, I think I was on the Tuesday night, and I said, look, Ibrox were close to the stadium and everybody was on it, and it does make a big difference, and our players will be used to it. But you've seen it with other teams that they've struggled with it for a while, and we got goals at the right time. The first goal, we worked it, and Kamara got it to Ken, and when he squares it, Tav there at the back post, he nearly done it the week before. So that was a marker for us just to go and take off for their end after that.
But I have to say that I thought the Rangers fans, I thought when Aribo missed that, and it was an absolute sitter. It turns out it's an absolute sitter, and even if it rebounds up, he can't even header it. But I think the rest of the team sort of settled a wee bit, and I think so. We don't want to be settled. We want to be right up there. If he puts that away, if Aribo puts that away, game finished. That'd be 3-0.
I think that would. I think that would have really brought the house down, wouldn't it? And it was unlucky. I couldn't believe he just managed to scoop it up. But if that third one goes in at that time, that's 39. That's 30 minutes, Bridge. But we knew they were a good team. We knew that they'd scored goals away from home. That was always the thing about them. But I just thought in the first half we kept more or less defending quite a bit, and I think Gio's tactics from when they were doing by kicks and that, we went more or less man for man, and we forced them more of the time to punt it. So we did, right, yeah. And I think Gio takes a lot of credit in the background team for working that out, but he worked it well, and the players showed the character to chase everything and close down and show the heart in the fight and the determination. So it worked for us, Bridge, I think, in the first half,
Speaking about Gio there, I think we're going to be finding out by, let's say, when this season finishes, I think you're going to find out that this guy is no mug. He's come in and he's got plans. He wants to do this and he wants to do that. He couldn't get his management team together, or coaches or whatever, when he first came in. And I think he's just been fabulous. Watching that last night, you think to yourself, well, there's a wee trouble there. That's a wee bit of trouble there. And before you know it, he's brought somebody on, or he's tweaked something, and it's all of a sudden it's changed. And what he's done in the last few months, weeks even, with John Lundstrom is just nothing short of miraculous. What a player that guy is. What a player. Just crazy, crazy, crazy good, You think, so we got him in a free.
Aye. It's certainly been looking now. It's been fruitful. It's like anything, Bridge. Sometimes players take a wee bit of time to settle, and they've got to, they take a wee bit while to settle into the club. And you come in the team and out the team, and he was in and he was playing well, and then he came out after a few man in the matches. He come back out the team, but Gio showed a bit of faith in him, and we certainly rely on him, and we can see what he brings to the team. And structurally, he had him in more or less playing right back to start with, when the team's kicked off. And then obviously he knows he can move him about and he trusts him. But I thought Tav was outstanding as well. I thought he was really good,
Yeah, absolutely.
I thought he drove the team forward, but it gave him that licence to go forward. But Lundstrom certainly, he's certainly proven now that we can use him in a variety of positions, and I think going forward, like you say, once eventually Gio gets his own squad, then you'll find a right position where you'll keep him maybe. But I just thought last night he was outstanding. He got himself in the right position for the goal, Bridge. And that's what matters. He's a midfielder, and we're looking for midfielders to score goals.
Wow, what a goal. That was a fabulous goal. Because I'm up at Copeland, I'm not seeing that they get the same vision as you get up when we're in the second half. But in the first half, I could see all of the ball, Kamara, put his ball in. And it was like he placed it, ran along the ground there. It's just like a wee side foot shot. With a bit of weight behind it, of course. My goodness gracious, it was wonderful to see. But seeing Lundstrom's, when that ball came down, the whole place at the Copeland were just hair in the back of the nets, standing up, Here we go. Oh, my God. The place just dive. Here we go. Up we go. Magic. No, fabulous.
When you were talking about that Glenn Kamara goal, to be honest, I thought it was Joe Aribo had scored that because the way he just curled it from the edge of the box. You'd have expected Joe Aribo to do something like that.
Yeah, left-footed. I never put that enough.
The thing was, I looked at Scott Wright. Scott Wright, he actually intercepted it and managed to get the turnover on the ball. Yeah. And we managed to work it when Aribo got it in that, and he laid the ball off to Kamara. I thought Scott Wright, a couple of times he sort of gave the ball away in that, but he made a run to the byline, whipped one across, and he obviously helped set up the goal for Kamara. But I thought he worked his position well, Bridge, on the night. I thought Gio would have gave him a set role, he tracked back and stuff, and obviously get licence to get forward. But although he had a bit of a mixed match in the first half, I thought he'd done his job well on the right-hand side. I thought we'd said that out of possession, we had to stay in a shape, and I thought the players sat in a shape up until we made the subs, obviously, later on. But in the first half, I thought everybody sat in their shape and worked well.
And yeah, his assists, like he did with the Kamara goal, and he was involved in that all the way. He's a lovely wee player. I said last week or the week before, you get a wee bit worried about him, whether he's actually going to be heavy enough or strong enough or whatever. But last night, he's up against a really strong team and a technically gifted team. They really could play football. And Wright never looked out of place. Once he gets settled into the game, made a few passes and was involved in the goal, well, you can't get much higher than that in the European semi-final. You're involved in an assist for a goal. My goodness gracious. Just wonderful stuff. So the boys should take lots and lots of gift for that one. Brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. And I've got no problems with young Wright. He's young, and the manager will decide what style of play he wants. Wright may fit in, and he might not. But it's definitely nothing to do with anything that we've ever done wrong. It was just brilliant last night. Every one of the players.
I think it's a bit like all players, Bridge. They need a wee bit of confidence, and if you're playing out in the wing, wingers do play with confidence, He has been a bit part player, but it's like anything. They say if you get a chance to come in, you take your chance. And I just thought he worked well. He kept the shape. He knew what his job was. He had obviously listened. So I think that's what I was happy about seeing for Scott Wright. So what we'll do is, Bridge, I think we'll get the phone lines opened. I'm hoping we'll get a lot of happy bears in the night, and let's hear their thoughts.
Go for it, man. Go for it.
Why don't you give us a call on 0141 356 1972. It's your show. It's your platform. Let's hear from you.
Hi, Bridge. Just before, I think we're going to get a wee call. And we'll get some callers in shortly. The display last night, you must have had a great view. I could see most of it. Just from where I sat, it was absolutely tremendous, wasn't it?
Wonderful. The boys, and it was at Union Bears that's done all this. They're just fab. That was just wonderful, in 1972. Just great, just great. Everything about last night. When after the game, you're sitting in that subway or down in that subway if you're lucky, and they never stopped singing. The boys were all there, and that's probably some of the same boys were designing on it and getting it done. That was just wonderful. And I've never seen so many in the Copeland Road want to take a photo. And they were all trying to take a photo. That was just wonderful to see. Beautiful, beautiful.
Talking about wonderful to see, I'm not sure, but we don't know. I've been joined by Blue Star.
Oh no!
Evening, Bridge. Oh, what a night, eh?
Oh, hold on. South side, no port.
Oh, sorry, South side.
You're all right, buddy.
I'm still on a high, South side.
No bother, mate.
Trains are scrambled. It's just... Oh, no, I love a lot of guys. It's just... What an absolute performance. What an atmosphere. What a night. Do you know, South, I watched it on the TV because I don't get too many games because of my health and because I'm looking after my mother now. And I've got to be truthful. I put on that, they big long speakers you get along with your telly, and I decided to put that on. Goodness me, for 40 minutes after I came off talking to you and all, and I put the TV on, even the atmosphere 40 minutes or so, even before the game, I'm saying to myself, the hairs were up in the back of my neck. Watching it, it was just, you could feel it, honestly, it was as if it was bouncing out the telly at you. The fans' noise. I mean, I've had many a brilliant night in Ibrox. As I say, I'm 60-year-old, and I just never felt anything like it, never heard anything like it. But what I would say is, you were on there about the likes of Wright and Kamara. I said to Ox before the game, guys, that for me, I wouldn't have had him starting. I would automatically have put Stephen Davis in. Goodness me, to a man. I mean, Kamara in that first goal, the guy was actually lying in the deck. He'd went down in the seat of his pants, and there was two Leipzig players around about him. He managed to still stab the ball through a Kent for him to run down the wing to cross the ball out for Tav. It was magical, and as you say, at the start, even at that move at the first goal, it was right out in the right hand side that managed to stab the ball through for somebody else to pass it back away. Every player to a man was utterly outstanding. Lindstrom, Tav, Bassey. Guys, I listen to Radio Snyder, and I'm telling you, I've got to say this because I slag at JFK all day. I heard Mr. Stevens turning around the night saying, and I never thought I'd ever heard anything like this. His exact words were, with 20 minutes to go, to Kenny Miller was, guys, he says, watching that game last night, he says, the hairs were up in the back of my neck. He says, and I've got to be truthful here, he says, that's easily got to be, he says, if Rangers go ahead and lift that cup, he says, which I think they'll get every chance at doing, he says, it'll be undoubtedly the greatest achievement for any Scottish club in history. Now, I'm not kidding you guys. I'm gobsmacked that that came out the guy's lips because I've always thought that this time. I've said it to you many a time. But for that to come from a Celtic man, all credit to the guy. And I've had my doings with Mr. Stevens over the years, let me tell you. But for him even to be honest enough to say that, guys, if you look at where we've came from in the last 9 years ago, we all know what happened. We were getting that, was it the first division or the first division? 9 years and we're in a European final against teams with the disparity of cash that are playing against 200 and 300 million pound outfits. It's astronomical. Words can't explain how big an achievement that is. It's mind-blowing, guys. And the amount of people that you see coming out of that ground with tears in their eyes. And guys, I'll say this to you. Southside, this is no kidding. I watched it again this morning. Do you know, obviously I already knew we'd got through and we'd won the game. Do you know, watching it with bated breath that last couple of minutes, you were still wondering if they were going to score and you already knew they scored. You know what I mean, though? Your emotions are through the blooming roof. It's breathtaking. It truthfully is.
The thing is, the game isn't won on a bit of paper when you see the team sheets and you look at what you're up against. But they're a phenomenal team. They are a good team. You know, they were in the Champions League to start with at the start of the season. They scored 3 goals against Manchester City. All right, they get beat 6-3, but and also they were seemingly unlucky to get beat against a Belgian team, or they might have qualified out the section. So we played them without an Alfie, without a roof, without a Hollander, you know, and we've put them out, and we've put 3 goals by them, you know, same as we've done to Braga, and we've done it to Dortmund. We put 4 by them and took 2 off them at Ibrox. So we've shown this is the thing, Blue Star. We were really weakened, right? And I was worried could we score 3, because I did think they would score because they have done in all their travels. But geo-tactically, got it sound last night. We also played well at the start. we got the goal, and the crowd was there for the start, like you said. I mean, it was unbelievable. People were going mental about me and that as well all night. It was brilliant. It's what you want, but to get the goals at the right time and keep the crowd going to half time, it was amazing. And in my opinion, I think they were a bit bottled it a bit, as in the first 10, 15 minutes. I think they couldn't get themselves together because I think the atmosphere got to them. You know,
absolutely. I mean, see watching it. So see when you seen Super, when you seen McGregor and getting the rest of the team to go out to that corner, and they looked up at the gantry, and Ali's live on TV at the time with the mic and he's on, and he turned round. Oh, and the emotions, you've obviously all seen it by now. The emotions got to him and he started swinging the horns up in the air and he's blowing them kisses. I mean, it was, honestly, it was fabulous to see. Absolutely fabulous. Words can't contain it. My emotions are still all over the place. I mean, as I say, I watched that game this morning. You've seen clips on the TV, and then you've seen that thing, guys. I don't know if you've seen it or no. The cameraman on the gantry. And he
I've seen it.
The guy that's filming him. And the camera's actually got up and down with the bears bouncing around about. It's amazing.
I think, like you said, it's the achievement for these set of players, you know, to get to this final. You know, I mean, we went each round, and you're hoping you can get through it. But it just felt Bridge and then Blue Star. I just felt like every time we got to another round, we were being another man done and another player done, and yet they've all galvanised together. And they've showed the heart and the determination. I think they've got a bit more energy and a bit more desire through the disappointment of Walter and obviously Jimmy Bell as well. I think you could see that when Kamara's goal went in and that, and all the players mentioned it in their interviews. But Bridge, I think they've showed the heart and the desire just to try and get over the line. And last night was just obviously we're not there yet because we want to win it, but to get to that final, missing certain players as we have done, it's a phenomenal achievement.
Just, you know, it's dream stuff, isn't it? It's just dream stuff. And we were even speaking about it just last week. I think we'll get there. So before we played them the first time, you know, just wondering. Then after we played them the last time, I think we get a chance here, but we need to smarten up and so on and so forth. And never had the chance last night, and it just came through. And yeah, you know, all of those players. That's why I said, on my view for the Bridge, I'm not going to give anybody less than 9. Just give them on 9, because that's how I think they were. Even the boys sitting in the dugout, it's just amazing to watch. They're all in there, and as soon as it happened, they were out. And I just love that. Their involvement is really first class, and they're a really good squad. A really good squad. You look at that. I'm going to name 2 players in their defence, just 2. You think about Tavernier. He's the captain, and he's never going to leave Rangers by the look and sound of it. Goldson, well, he might stay and he might not. When will he ever get the feelings after that game last night? When will he ever get that feeling again in his life if he doesn't stay at Rangers? You know what I mean? It's not going to happen for him that way. And of course, you've got to say Bassey. He's only 22 or 23 or something like that. Oh my God, he's phenomenal. He's absolutely phenomenal. He's just massive, and he's got a great future ahead of him. And if he can follow and stay behind that boy Lundstrom, he's going to have another good career. Stay with Rangers and do what you can, and they'll take you forward. That's what I'm going to say. That's what I think. They are all excellent. Kent was outstanding last night in his own, because he's not been great. You know, I'm not saying he's been poor, but he hasn't been great the last 4 or 5 games. But my goodness gracious, he was absolutely a whiz kid last night. Superb, just superb. And there's Kamara come back on. He's done the trick, scored a goal, and covered the whole of the midfield. Just great stuff. So I'm not going to go through every player, but seriously, every single one of them, excellent. And what you said, Southside, I'm 100% with you.
I think Kent's played well in Europe. He gets a bit more space and all that, and obviously scoring against Red Star away and doing the damage against Borussia Dortmund. But I think he's been better in Europe of late. But Blue Star, I think I was listening to the interviews, you know, I heard Scott Wright, I listened to Tav, Borna Barisic, you know, also listening to Balogun, you know, and he's talking about where his career was going, and then he came and he's won the league, and now he's in the final. He's talking about the support and that, and you can imagine about him and when we're talking about these type of players, even Scott Wright being out the picture and back in and contributing last night, you could just see the feeling and the desire, and you could just see the amazement that they've achieved something to get there, and you can see there's a steely determination. I think Borna says we're going to Seville for the battle and to win it, so you can see, you know, that they know what it means now that they're in the final.
Oh, most definitely, Southside, as you said, and as Bridgeman said as well, if you take into account the players that we had out injured, I mean, goodness me, look what happened a minute to go to half time, and we're 2-0 up. Aribo's stunning in the wall and gets battered, full smack right in the jaw, and the guy was concussed. Goodness me, you could see the way that luckily he got up, but even the way he was struggling to walk off the park. You think and he was having a great game as well up front. I mean, they were struggling against him, and even he had to go off. So that you're saying yourself, right, somebody else is coming on, Sakala, etc., etc. And then as Bridgeman says, when you seen the reaction, even for all the team and the players that were sitting in the bench, it was just magical. Everybody, including their players, because to be fair to them, you've seen some of their players. You mentioned Barisic and Tav, and they tell the press about what some of the Leipzig players had said to them with Balogun. Obviously, because he played in Germany as well, and he was born German. And he says that the Leipzig players were coming off and they had never experienced an atmosphere like it. A wee point Southside, they said there on Radio Clyde that it was just announced. Guess how many, I don't know if you've heard, guess how many tickets they've allocated?
They've allocated for the final?
The final, yes. This is frightening if it's correct.
We're getting 9,500.
That to me is just absolutely abysmal.
Now, hold on, we can talk about it in a wee minute. Blue Star, right? I've just think we've been joined by Andy for Crookston. All right, Andrew?
Good evening, guys. Good evening. How you all doing, Bridgeman?
We're all doing well, Andrew. We're all doing well.
Good stuff. Just about last night, just absolutely sensationally, and picking up the points are where this came from, and the journey we've went. I remember the very first day when Alan McCoy stood in the middle of the park and said stage 1 complete, and standing there listening to him saying that, would you ever think or dream that we would make it to a Europa League final 9 years later? It's just amazing. The budget of the team. Now I looked at it today. The teams that we've all met, the players combined, the teams that we knocked out from after the group stages are actually worth the team is over £1 billion. Combined, that is all of, and our team with 13.5 million. It's unbelievable.
Well, it is, Andrew. That's how I've said before. Games aren't played in bits of paper. When you look at the team, but you combine it. But here, we overachieve in Europe, right? And make no mistake, we have to overachieve in Europe because of what we're up against, like you say, with the amount of money that they spend. Tactically, I think we got it right, and I think the players showed the heart and the desire and the character to get it through, Bridge.
Yeah, 100%. Look, you're right. From where we've come is nothing short of sensational. nothing short of sensational. And I think you've probably noticed on the TV shows, the TV news, they're coming out and they're hundreds ex-players and saying how great that performance was for Rangers, blah blah blah. And these are people that have been sitting under a brick somewhere, fate to come out, and they walk them out, and they've said, "Well done, the Rangers." And I believe even the what do you call him, Doncaster has actually texted to whomever with congratulations to the Rangers. So I can't say any more than that. It's as far as I'm concerned, everybody has seen what Rangers have done, what we're doing. And so I would imagine that somewhere along the line, things may change in the attitude towards Rangers over in a very short period. If it doesn't happen, well, what the hell? Who cares?
I wouldn't go that far. I think that attitude will ever change, Bridge.
No, I understand that. I'm just meaning.
But aye, here it's great. Here, Glasgow Rangers in the final European trophy. Do you know what I mean? And like you said, for where we've came and what we had to build. I think Blue Star, we slowly built the squad. We've been gradually getting there in Europe, and it was just a progression. We've kept most of the squad together, but the only problem is it's been decimated a bit with injuries. But like we said, last night's performance against that type of team who, in our hearts, we probably thought we would probably concede a goal because they have been scoring away from home in Europe. So to get the job done and get to the final for the squad that we've got, it's just phenomenal achievement.
Utterly unbelievable. And so it's what you know yourself. We've all thought the same thing. Initially, we were going, "Oh, Gio's only sticking to 13, 14 players, and he's not using a lot of subs." Well, we know the reason because he was sussing them all out, and there were certain players he didn't trust. Right, fine, that's his opinion, and he's a manager. But maybe in hindsight, even looking at that Southside, maybe that was to our benefit, because it maybe gelled the so-called players even more so together. And there's no doubt in my mind the Dortmund result definitely gave them more belief and more resilience as each tie went on, even from there, because I think they knew themselves, as did all the media, as did all the fans, to put that side out who were the favoured winners of the whole tournament, and looking at what they had at their disposal, and for us to play and hammer them in their own ground and outplay them at Ibrox, that in itself was astronomical. So the group just grew in belief and stature since then, even more so. It's just absolute, everything about it is just magical. It really is. It's a fairy tale. If you look at it truthfully, it's like a fairy tale.
Aye, 100%. Blue Star. I think if you look at it tactically, the way we sort of done it, Andrew, I think in the first leg, over there, we went to sort of just stifle the game, I think, and try and come back. Possibly with a 0-0 or try and nick a goal, but we weren't too adventurous in the first leg. So I think Gio's probably looked at it, and it's something I've heard him say now, third time. He likes to get a look at the opposition, like when you play them the first time, he seems to say, and then he seems to be able to complete the job in the second game. Tactically, I think he wanted to go there, keep it tight, get them back to Ibrox, and then the crowd, and being at Ibrox and us at home, would probably get us through on a good night with 11 players playing at their maximum.
Do you know, I thought that, see, for the final whistle of that game, well, not the final whistle, halfway through that game, away from home, that was exactly what I was thinking. Gio's trying to get this, maybe nick a goal, or even if they lost one or whatever, and get it back to Ibrox and get that roar that you'll probably never hear again. It's just, it's just sensational.
It's tremendous. We got the game last night, Andrew. Did you go?
Sorry?
Did you go to the game last night?
No, I couldn't make it, mate.
All
Couldn't
right,
make
no,
it. Couldn't
unlucky.
make it.
But some
Couldn't
night,
make
Andrew,
it,
honestly, it probably sounded as good as the telly as it was in the stadium, mate. It was absolutely rocking, and it was great.
Yeah,
That's what I said to everybody that was in there. I said, take a bow, because they absolutely rocked the place, and it makes all the difference. And obviously, when you get goals at the right time, then obviously it kept everything moving. Blue Star, what did you think of? What did you think of Bassey last night?
Oh, out in that. See where the camera was out the far side, there was 4, 5, 6 times that he was actually beat to the ball, and he chased the 2 guys in front of him. He would slide in and he was getting the ball, and then one of the times he actually slid on the ground, got the ball, managed to get himself back up, ran forward and passed the ball further on up to Kent. It was astronomical, and as I say, you look at where that boy's came from, and he is only a young man, and he's like Alfie in that sense. He's so powerful on the ball, but masterclass. Truthfully, the guy gave his all. The whole team did. They really did. I mean, you mentioned there Southside about even Wright, and we've all got varying opinions on Scott Wright. He's not a world beater, but even him, to be fair to the guy, he was involved. They all gave their absolute all. Honestly, it was great. I'm still lost after last night. It's just breathtaking. The whole team was, and as you said about Gio, you can't emphasise it enough. You're bang on in what you're saying. Tactically wise, in each game, as I said in the first tie, I says, look, I don't think he'll go gung ho in any way, shape or form because of what he had at his disposal as well. Tactically wise, I kept saying, he'll go there and try and, as long as he's bringing us back, we're still in the tie to bring it back to Ibrox, and that's exactly what the guy did. He tactically wise, Southside, you can't take it away for Gio. He's been absolutely masterful in his planning. He has been.
I think Bridge, like you're saying, when you're playing the centre back role, he tactically matched him up when it came to buy kicks and stuff, and they forced him to play it long. There was only one sort of time I remember where they knocked it long, and it was just after Goldstein get booked. The wee boy cut inside him, and he clipped him, but the ref never booked him, thankfully, after the stupid booking they gave him. But that was about the only time. Maybe he trusted the players to match up against him 1-on-1, which showed a lot that he believes in them.
Well, I feel you get a goalkeeper and you get 4. That's the mainstay of our team. And there's sometimes we've found thought that, for instance, Barisic was found wanting a couple of times where he's not going for the ball and the ball comes across him before you know it, someone's nipped in, that kind of thing. But other than that, you can't take anything away from them. They've played as a defence and they've given their all. And I think Goldson, by no stretch of anyone's imagination, he is the best centre half in Scotland, without a doubt. In Scotland, the best centre half. And I still don't know Southside, and it's maybe something that I shouldn't open up. But what's happened with the player awards over the last week or two, not one single Rangers player involved was graceful. And here we are, we're heading towards a Europa final, a major cup final in Europe, and none of the players are getting any good. None of the players are any good. Nah, sorry.
Well,
I didn't know that.
That's why I said to you, Bridge, the media will no change in any praise or anything like that. It's we know what it is, what it is. But it is what it is. Andrew, who stood out for you apart from obviously maybe Lundstrom? Anybody you thought played well? You thought Scott Wright played well?
Scott Wright did. I think he done what he was told to do, basically. He done his job. I think as JFK said there, I think it was Big Bassey was brilliant. I thought Bassey was absolute masterclass. That one he was talking about is on the left hand side, where he digs in, he's on the ground on his knee, wins the ball, and then gets back up, gets by his man, and then we start a counter. He's just a rock. He's just a great player. Who else shone out for me? I thought Conor Goldson was excellent. Oh, I thought Barisic had a good game. Obviously, Lundstrom. Ken, I thought Ken was brilliant. I know, like, most times Kent sort of getting the ball, there was sort of nearly two shadowing him. But he ran his heart out. I think he touched every blade of grass, to be honest.
They all played well. They all played well, Andrew. Blue Star, I think the game sort of changed in momentum. I think obviously when Ryan Jack had to go off, so, I seen it later on when I watched the game after I come back, and I seen he had a big ice pack. And obviously Balogun coming on. We seem to, I think Scott Wright gave us a bit of energy on the right, and I think Arfield, it felt as if he wasn't pressing for enough at times, but he was obviously sitting, but just felt, obviously they've come into the game, but we lost our way for that wee 15 to 20 minute spell, eh?
Without a doubt, and on that Southside, you're bang on what you said. You've seen the ice pack going on to Ryan's ankle, but you'll notice that Gio put his arms around Arfield as he was going on to the park, and you've seen him clearly saying to him and doing that with his horns, stay back and you've no to go forward. So you're bang on, mate. That he was instructed by orders not to go forward. And on that, yes, they had a 20-minute period and they had all the ball and we were sitting back. But see, when we got the break and the ball came out, when the ball came out, there was only one midfielder there, basically for our side, and he didn't think about it, which is easy in hindsight and looking at it. But the guy took the onus on himself, was Lundstrom, and he just hit it towards goal, and thankfully it went in. But again, that's falling back onto what you're saying, Southside, because they were playing to orders to a man, all down to Gio's planning. The guy had it to a T. There was no doubt about it. Each player played to orders, and they played it exceptionally well. They did, because that was a good outfit. Let's not kid ourselves on. They were a good side. And for 20 minutes there, they had us pinned back because they had to come forward. They knew they were going out. But our players, defensively, even when they got the break of the ball, they were all trying to find their own players, which was the most important thing. It was brilliant, absolutely brilliant.
I mean, don't get me wrong. It was a good delivery, and the boy took the goal well. You know, it was a bad goal for us to lose, but it was some finish. Considering he had to open his foot up to put it by McGregor. You know, and I just thought
first time side kicked it in the air. It was a brilliant goal.
I think Ryan Jack was doing a lot of scrapping in there, and I just thought we had a foothold in the game at the time, and it was like that mad 20 minutes. But other good team, and at some point they had to come and press us. And like you say, if Arfield was maybe, never noticed Gio saying that to him, but if he was maybe sitting that wee bit deeper, then that would have been the reason. He was unlucky, mind you, when he flicked the ball. The guy's head and just couldn't square it to Sakala. But I just thought the game hinged a wee bit there, Andrew. I think we had that wee bit of pressure, but we weathered it, and then obviously we still were in the game. The support was still going off. We were all still going off our heads and singing and cheering, and eventually we get there. But it was worrying just that wee sort of spell at that time, Andrew.
Oh, aye, without a doubt. Sitting there watching it for my life, that 20-minute spell, it was pretty worrying, to be honest. We're sitting very, very deep, and after McGregor had pulled that absolute magnificent save off, I thought, right, we're going to do this, and then like literally a minute later, you can't take it away from it. It was an absolute sublime finish for the guy. But yeah, that 20 minutes was it was nippy bum time, to be honest, until Lundstrom scored. And after Lundstrom scored, to be honest, my nerves sort of calmed. I was confident we were going to go through. Probably doesn't make sense. But from after we scored, I thought, right, that's it, we'll go through now. But that 20-minute spell, was very, very concerning.
So I don't know if you've seen it, guys. have you happened to see the clips for Sky of Chris Boyd?
Aye, I seen it. Aye.
Was that no brilliant as well? And as Andy says there, when Lindstrom scored, I think it was all a huge sigh of relief. But I've got to tell you guys, that last minute and a half when they had a couple of crosses. Oh no, I was like Boyd. I was watching through my fingers because you were waiting on them getting a last minute goal to take it the extra time. I couldn't wait in that whistle getting blown.
Hi, I know it's like that. It's the tension and the pressure in it when you get to that point. You know, you're just hoping that every time the ball came in the box, it was going to be a blue jersey that was going to get to it. You know, but nah, we deserve it. I think Blue Star. I think we deserve it on the performances that we've shown, and let's not kid ourselves. We play in a wee diddy league here. You know. And it's no great for football. You see what we're up against. We get 90% of the ball in Scotland when we're playing against these teams. And we've got to go into Europe and compete against teams like Leipzig, Dortmund, Red Star. You know, we've had to face there. And we're not going to demand 80-90% of the ball. And to me, it's all about shape and tactics. And I think Gio has shown that he's proved that with these players that he can tactically set them up, and now we've got the reward with a team that, if we're kidding ourselves on, we beat that team without a striker.
100%. And Southside, thanks for having us on. And what you're saying there, you're bang on in what you're saying. I know you keep going back to Gio, and you're 100% right. We can't praise the guy enough because you're bang on in what you're saying. His tactics in these last 4 and 5 ties, let's not kid ourselves on here. We've been well up against it, punching way above our weight. But on that, Gio's tactics have been absolutely tremendous. And on that as well, if we're playing with players that are playing against players that are worth millions and millions of pounds, as you say, football's no one on paper, but money certainly makes a difference as to the calibre of player you can get. So on that, for our squad of players to be playing the amount of games without 2 and 3 strikers, forward players, no even on work benches, it's just been absolutely marvellous. And words can't explain how proud we are of all of them. And our managers, again, his tactics, his know-how. He's a typical Dutchman, as I've said before. They're connoisseurs of the game, and you've got to give the guy massive credit for the way that he's managed these ties. And it's just been brilliant that the players have been able to carry it out. And Bridgeman, yourself, and Andy, and all the rest of the Bears, thanks for having us on, guys. Carry on listening to the show. It's been marvellous, and onwards and upwards, and let's bring this cup home.
100%, Blue Star. Thanks very much for phoning in, pal.
Well done,
I appreciate it.
Blue Star.
Enjoy the rest of your night, pal.
Good night, guys.
Good night. Andrew, that's the thing, isn't it? These players now have got a chance to be heroes, Heroes.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely heroes. Well, we still talk today about the 72 heroes, don't we? You know what I mean? Your John Greggs and you know that all your players that won it in Barcelona in 72. We still speak about them today. We've got statue side. You know what I mean? So these guys, this squad is all, in my eyes, are already legends. But if we go and lift this trophy, it's just going to be sensational. It's just,
a great achievement, Andrew.
Can't I describe it?
Right, Andrew, if you and your Bridgeman get yourselves on mute, it's time to go for a tune.
Right, no worries.
Who's that team they call it? Just who's that team they all adore? They're the boys who loyal work around the Scotland Gallery, and the hunt to show the world what they can do.
you give us a call on 0141 356 1972. It's your show, it's your platform. Let's hear from you.
Hi, good evening. Welcome back. Andrew.
Yeah.
What does it mean to you, pal? Did you see were you in Manchester in 2008?
I was, mate. I was in Manchester in 2008, and it was, to this day, to yesterday, it was, not an experience as in crowds, but feeling-wise, like being in crowds at 2008 was the best time of my life. Apart from the score, mind you, but I was there, and luckily, through some lovely guys at your show, put me on to someone, and I've managed to get a seat on a bus to Seville. So,
you're going on the Rangers radio bus, then I take it. All right, okay, that's good to know. We'll maybe see you. I think Jim for Paisley's doing the buffet, I think, for it anyway. Right, Andrew, I'll let you go, pal, because we're getting a few callers coming in, all right?
My friend.
And thanks for phoning in as always,
guys,
okay?
I was going to go anyway. Right, guys, thanks very much. And thanks again for putting on to that guy for
right, no worries.
For the bus.
Right,
cheers.
Okay, no worries. Bye-bye.
All the best, guys. Bye-bye.
All the best. Bye-bye. Alex, are you there, pal?
Good evening, Southside. Good evening, Bridgeman.
Aye, good to hear you, pal. What a night,
Unbelievable, mate. Unbelievable. I'm so happy for guys like yourself and my wee pal Agnes and Eric and that, and Rangers Ricky, Robbie, Ferguson, guys that follow Rangers all over. That was for them, wasn't it? And obviously Walter and Jimmy and that, Jimmy Bell up in the sky looking down. It was just so emotional. Everything just caught up with us. You know, the UB put up the banner, make us dream. Boy, these players have made us dream, haven't they?
Wonderful. Good evening, Alex. Sorry.
Good evening, Bridgeman. How are you feeling yourself out at Southside? How are you feeling?
Hey, if I'm honest, Alex, I wasn't 100% positive that we would score enough, because I thought they would score, only because the way I thought our team were running a bit on empty regarding squad. And I did say if we can get through and we win, I'll be absolutely buzzing. And believe me, mate, what a night we had after the game. I'm not kidding. I feel absolutely amazing, mate. I never thought after Manchester that I would probably see another final. I hoped I would. But after everything that we went through, and with Pedro in the hedge and following the team at that point, and looking at the state of the club at that time and the personnel, you know, Europe was miles away, Alex. Honestly, it was miles away, you know. And my eyes, and it wasn't just my eyes. A lot of players that have went and followed and been in a lot more Rangers games than I've been, and been a lot longer on the scene than I have. They said the same. No, we'll not see Rangers in the Champions League or Europe again. Look at the state of this club, you know. And then to see what we've done now, Alex, unbelievable. But don't get me wrong, it took the belief of the directors to get the money and get the right people in. Once we got the right people in place, we could start to take the club forward, Alex. So I think that started, and then obviously it started with Stevie G coming in and building a squad. Obviously Europe was a priority in the board's mind to get us back in, get ourselves back on the map in Europe. And gradually we've done it.
Yeah, no, I totally agree with you. I think Dave King's got to get a lot of credit for the foresight bringing in Stevie G in the first place. You know, he rebuilt the club. It wasn't just the squad of players that we had; it was the whole attitude of the club, and improving everything, the aspects, and just to lift the club, to change the mentality from where we were to where we are now. We actually believe we're going into these games with a chance of a victory. And it shouldn't be because of the financial constraints that we we're under compared to the financial power of the other leagues across Europe. We shouldn't be in a European final according to UEFA, and it's just, you're so proud. We've done it the right way. Our support have fully got behind, the players and the club are buying season tickets and merchandise and managers and shares and whatever else we can afford to put into the club. We will, because we love our club. It's a way of life for a lot of people, and it gives us so much joy when you get a night like last night happening. I'm so proud to be a Bear.
You're right there, Alec.
Talking about love, Bridge. This is going to be like Love Island tonight. Andy Felix coming in.
Tell me it's him. Oh, no, him.
No, him.
Andy Felix, Alex Kelly, Love Island.
Dear me, you guys are terrible. You crack me up. Listen, evening everyone. For me, I'd just like to say this. For all the people who have lost along the way, my heart goes out to all their families. I think we're all with them. I think we all echo that. I think what I've lost for words as to what to say about the team right enough. Coming across the years, it's been hard, but never once have I tired with my team. I've always loved them, no matter where we went and what happened to us. Remember what Ali said, kick us now, because we'll not be doing the line. Well, that's coming through, isn't it? Long way on the ladder to go, but we're getting there. And across the way, coming across the show here, you guys on here, and the ladies and everybody in the feed, I couldn't have wanted for more to go through this journey, if you get what I'm saying. And to the guys in the group, and then with that, and the lady, and I mean the lady, Tracy, them, been brilliant as well. By the way, I'm the quiet one in the group. I just sit back and listen. There's some big characters in there. But I would just say I'm absolutely proud of every one of them. I wouldn't individualise any one of them guys last night. They were fantastic to a man. I stood on top of that telly. I was deafened. About 4 hours after it, I could still hear the crowd ringing in my ears. I think all you guys that get around and travel and all that, absolutely fantastic. Done all that in a year in there in Manchester, and isn't it great for the young team that's coming up? If we can pull this off, what stories they're going to tell to the Grand Lanes? Absolutely fantastic. Delighted for every one of you. Still included as well. And lastly, Josh Youngs, for the years he's put up with me, and believe me, he's put up with me.
I think that's the thing.
He knows what I mean.
I think that's the thing, and I was lucky enough. I was in Manchester. And I was at the game, and obviously you think, well, probably no see another European final because it gets harder and harder. Alex Kelly spoke about it on here. I think Port's also spoke about it. It's harder. It's stacked against teams like us and countries like us to get to any final at Europe. When you look at the way they carve it up with the teams. So to get where we are, it's a phenomenal achievement. And obviously, Bridge, for the younger team that's been following Rangers now, trying to get through Europe and just following home and away and growing up and feeling now part of the club, it's going to be some experience for them when to get a chance to go to Seville now,
Well, everybody, all the guys here have known it. They see the youngsters there. They see them on the TV last night. Some of them running and greeting. Wee laddie at the end of the road, just 3 or 4 seats for me. I was going out and I've been high-fiving that Wayne for God knows how many years now. He laughs every time he sees me. I'm going, give me a high five. And he did it. And I watched him last night. And as a rock out, he's absolutely roaring and greeting. So I say to him, don't worry about it, son. That's the way I feel every week.
There's nothing wrong with a wee tear here and there, is there?
Yes, absolutely. It's good. You're going to see the boys in the subway.
Aye, Alex.
Brilliant.
Can I just say something that I thought was a wee bit poignant for the results between the Champions League and last night? See the teams that's left in the final Champions League: Liverpool, Real Madrid, obviously Europa League, ourselves and Eintracht. The other games, Roma and Feyenoord. That's teams that I grew up with, were big powerhouses across Europe. For all the money. All these other clubs that I've got, your Man Cities, your Leicesters, your West Ham, RB Leipzig, I thought that was a victory for football. across Europe, with they big clubs still been prominent in European finals.
Aye, 100%, Alex. We, as a club, I mean, we can all sit here and we've had fantastic results. And I don't know, Alex, you'll know I've said on here, we need 11 players on their game at night in Europe for us to try and to get a result. And that's what we hope for. And when you look at the clubs, like you said, Ajax as well, even Barcelona, you look at the money, I mean, all right, they've won a lot in the past, but look at them now. I think
A billion in debt.
Aye, and all that. And sometimes you get the name of a club when we get drawn against them in Europe. But they're just a big name, you know, and they're maybe some of them aren't as big as they used to be, like we think. But what we've done last night, it's just amazing. It's just amazing, you know, and it was just, like I said, I was hoping we had enough, and just now can't wait to get to Seville now. I just think we're going all the way now. That's it. Our name's on that cup. It's got to be for what we've done and what we're doing. And the support.
Yeah.
Aye, for the support, 100%.
Brilliant.
What's the score that the lad mentioned earlier about the ticket allocation? I thought they've given it as minimum 20,000 to Rangers.
9,500, Bridge. You've got people waiting outside.
Bridge, there's an email come out to buy the ticket, right?
Mm-hmm.
They've said that they've took 500 off for some type of, I think it's security reason for the segregation or something, and it said that we're getting 9,500. So anybody that's in my jails that travel and are in the scheme, you can purchase your ticket between now and up till 6 o'clock tomorrow, but you purchase it through the UEFA website, and the lowest points is 1,644. So if you've got that 8 points and above, you can go on there now and purchase your ticket.
So give some of your points, eh?
I've already purchased my 2 tickets, Alex. You've had it. It's pretty sad as well, because I was looking through it, and do you know where the Bears are going to be sitting? But we're actually getting hit. We're actually getting hit with restricted view seats as well. So there is in these sections I've noticed. I think we're being joined by Big Al actually for Australia. How you doing, big man?
Yeah, I'm swell, boys. How are you?
Champion,
Al.
Good
morning.
Alex, how are you? Good morning. That's good morning for me. Good morning to you. Really happy, really pleased. You just mentioned there, and I see for the guys, I'm no longer in the country, but for the guys in that stadium last night, I'm really pleased for them. Guys like yourself, Southside, that go home and away, I'm really pleased for you guys. And Big Stevie's there with you. Watch him with the chorizo pies in Spain, because
I
had a few of them a few weeks ago. They've got big high calorie content.
Well, I shouldn't really be telling you, right? But he's actually conditioning his body now.
Oh no, he can't be, because I seen him on the TV a couple of weeks ago.
No, he only started yesterday. He's only started
did
yesterday.
Aye.
He's starting for the final. He's in conditioning training.
Right, is he? He's in camp. No, for you guys, I'm ecstatic for these. I really am.
Cheers, big man.
He's deserved this. Just make sure he's come back with that cup, all right? That's all the thing.
That's very kind of you, Big Al. Very kind of you. Thank you.
No problem. I was in Manchester. I was fortunate enough to get a ticket as well, and I was bitterly disappointed. But we never. I don't think in that final and I'm not trying to be negative here. I'm trying to keep my feet on the ground here. I didn't think we gave everything that we could have gave. You just make sure they boys walk off that park, and make sure that Frankfurt don't walk off the park. Take everything. We'll always be remembered for winning it. When we win it on the 18th, but we need to just leave everyone on the park, man, and you just make sure they players in that park get that message when you're out there, all right?
I'll cut across you, Big Al, just a wee second. I think we've got Jim. Jim, you in, pal?
Yes, I'm here.
Right, Jim.
Hello, boys.
How you doing?
Hello, how do you do? We are the boys in Royal Blue. And my wee doggy, my wee dog Bobby, he's barking like mad.
Hey, you can go to jail for that. Bobby and the dog.
In the garden.
What's your point, Jim?
Hey, absolutely marvellous. Hey, what a fantastic game last night. One of the best games I've watched. I went to Manchester in 2008, and it was actually a disaster, you know. Not because of the result, because the screens in Albert Square went mad. They didn't show the game, and riots started. And I'm saying to myself, I'm not set for Seville. My boy's never been to a European final before, you know, and I'd love to go. But trying to get a ticket is just outrageous. It's going to be very, very difficult for our real fans. And I say real fans because the ones that live and still live in Glasgow, I live in Surrey now, but they live in Glasgow, very difficult to get a bloody ticket, you know.
Side of the times, pal. It's just European tickets. You don't get a lot for some of the stadiums. It's costly to go travel abroad, you know.
It's not
for
so much
instance,
costly towards the fans.
Rangers have put out a day flight, right? You can go on their day flight for £719. So that's costly, and if you want to take your grandson or your boy, take whoever, you know, £719 plus you'll have to have enough points and whatever to get on the flight, because that's showing loyalty to the supporters that they travel.
Listen,
you know,
I would pay 10 grand for somebody to give me 2 tickets to be there on a day.
I'll give you 2 tickets, but I need a £5 deposit. And you can take the dog. You can bobby the dog all you want. You can take the dog for £5.
I'll tell you what. I was in Manchester in 2008, and Albert Square, and it was absolutely
Albert
amazing.
Square.
Aye, and it was just amazing, absolutely fantastic. And the only problem was that what they promised us in Manchester did not happen. They did not give us the CCTV that they said they would, and that caused a problem.
I'll be honest, Jim, I think they did use the CCTV, mate. See, at the end of the day, Jim, it comes down to, like, I know people say it, people want to go for the day, get the experience of being there and not have a ticket, and some will hopefully try and get a ticket. To be honest, it's not going to be the greatest of places. The Spanish police aren't the greatest to deal with. They like to deal with things differently. So hopefully it will not come to that. But hopefully the people that get a ticket and the people that go, will do their best. Ibrox might do a beanbag for people, or maybe something like that or whatever. But if I didn't have a ticket and I wasn't going, then I'd probably just watch it in my house, to be honest. But everybody's different. Bridge,
I know,
you know.
I know. Yeah,
Bridge.
I understand. I totally understand what you're saying, but we're Rangers supporters, and we will attend, and we will be there, and we'll enjoy ourselves. We'll be under influence, but I think there'll be more Rangers supporters in Seville than we had in Manchester.
Aye, possibility.
Wow.
Alex.
Wow,
Alex.
That's big.
Alex, what do you think? We'll take a fair large amount of fair support travelling in from everywhere.
Aye, of course, well, but these bloody travel agents are fleecing us already. I've seen an advertisement there, £850 just for flights, no ticket, no transfer of buses, and no accommodation. You know what I mean?
See with the Rangers one, Alex. How you said? What did you say? The price was, Alex?
$719. It was Southside. It was saying.
Is the plane? Or was it Southside? Sorry, is the plane stopping in Monaco for a high tea? Because you know what I mean. You can talk about the companies, but I think because no doubt Castor will come out with the Seville memorabilia, T-shirts and strips and all this as well. So the club need. This isn't just about the club monetary. They'll get money out of this for qualifying and we win it. And we get in the Champions League. They've got to think about the fans here, the guys that have been, and you guys that are there week in, week out. They've got to think about these guys, and I'm sure they will. But I've got a wee sneaky feeling they'll try to fleece a few boys, and £700 to fly to Spain. If you went last week to Spain, but you got a flight for about £70 return.
Aye, no problem.
Well, there you go, man.
It's not that, Al. It's costly because if you fly the tie before and you fly the tie before that,
but you've spent a bit of cash. That's what I'm saying. Things like should be taken into account, but
yeah, it depends.
Look, I'm the one.
No, I mean, at the end of the day, Rangers they're offering you the My Jers fans can go in and buy, and then after that. If you've got 1,528 points and above, then you can go in and buy your ticket up to Monday. So they're looking after the people that have got the points, and for that, most of them that are in gold and probably bits of silver will get tickets. I would think. I'm not sure.
Well, you get a concession bridge.
For what?
on the plane,
he's up with a pilot.
He's up with a pilot.
No. I don't get concessions anywhere.
No.
Why would I get concessions? I'm only 22.
Oh, you're younger than Ox, aren't you? You're younger than Ox.
Hang on.
Younger than springtime.
Jim.
Good man.
Jim, I'll let you go, right, because we can hear the dog in the background, all right? I can hear it barking away.
Well, no, don't let me go. I'm just going to calm him down, you know. He's very excited. Go on.
Must be stage fright.
And you must remember, I mean, when you look at what's happened over the couple of days, I mean, everybody's very excited. My dog, Bobby, is very, very excited. You know what I mean? I mean, he's entitled to be here.
Beware.
Aye, on you go, Alex.
I was just going to get back to the game there. There was a moment in the first half, and you know, my heart was actually bursting. Ryan Jack miscontrolled it, ran about the centre circle and let it slip under his foot, and the boy was bursting in on goal.
And
he was trailing him. And the guy, I thought he was going to shoot, but he opted to pass to the side. See the block that Ryan Jack got on that shot, and then get back up and lifted himself. My heart was bursting with pride. That's the desire and the effort and the will to win that we want to see in that Rangers team. And Ryan Jack last night, I thought, epitomised that before he went off.
Well said, Alec. Well said.
Aye, 100%. It's unbelievable, isn't it? We've been on this show and we've got about 30 odd minutes left. We've not even spoke about the game on Sunday.
Oh, please get on about that then. Come on.
And it just shows you the achievement last night that we've actually got a league game to play on Sunday, and it's not really in any of our thoughts at the moment. We're still absolutely reminiscing about last night, and it's unbelievable. Big Al.
But by the way, sorry.
Go ahead. No, go ahead, Alex.
No, I was just going to throw some just at the game. Would you play the likes of Lowry, King, McCann, maybe even Weston? Give them a wee bit of game time.
Andy, would you play them?
Yes. Yeah, I did. I'd throw a few of the guys in, let some of the guys get a bit of, respite, because when you look at what we've been doing here over the last few weeks, for getting beat at them at Ibrox, to the way we've come back and through great metal, you've got to sort of recharge your batteries a wee bit, and it also gives the young boys a taste of it, done it in front of a big crowd. That's the way I would go. I wouldn't totally go gun-ho on it right enough, but I would definitely have Lowry having it. I think Lowry should have had more game time already anyway. You know what I mean? The boy McCann, they seem to be talking about well, but I do like the boy King at the back. I think he could turn out to be an absolute cracker. So yeah, I would look at all three of them.
Al, you always sort of champion Lowry, right? I've got a pal who watches all the B games, He is a standout player in the B squad.
Yeah.
But even he says he thinks he's still a wee bit no just there yet for the first team. And you've got to remember you're looking at once you hit the season running. I think maybe next season in a squad he might feature more. He didn't mention anything about King, but as the rest of them mentioned, with respect to Andy, he said Weston and are no ready. The Colombian boys at Partick Thistle, and he's no scoring. So you've got to look at it into how you're replacing the magnitude of the games. Big Al.
I'm all for promoting youth, and I would have liked to see Lowry got that chance. I would have liked to see integrated in the team, but I think the treble's still on. It's actually mathematically impossible for us to win it, so I wouldn't be going and decimating the team. You never know. Our luck, we might be carrying a wee bit of luck, and how wonderful would it be to be league champions, UEFA Cup champions, Scottish Cup champions? So while it's still there, I wouldn't. And I think it was Reverend I Am Jolly for Paisley last night. He said, you know what I mean. You're still wanting to be playing your best team. Like you want players to be playing football rather than training. And I think that's the way. I think players might like a break, but I think they also like to play football. But that's why they're football players, aren't it? So
I think Sunday, Andy. Then I'll come to Alex. I think Sunday we could probably Stephen Davis probably come back and possibly freshen up. I was thinking of somebody else here and they've just slipped my mind. But I don't know if Lowry would start, but I think if we could get a good result on Sunday, get a couple of goals up, make sure the game's won, then you might get a chance to bring a Lowry or a King on.
Yeah, well, that's the way forward, right enough. The thing, I'm not saying that we should be going and banging a war, but I know we all have opinions and saying that they're no right and this, that, but you've got to give them some game time around the main team. They'll never get any better if they're not going to get chances. We've had Willie Henderson's, Derek Johnson's and all the guys at a very young age come in. Now, you can't tell me at the time we brought them in, you knew that was going to turn out for their guys. You'll only find out if they get game time playing for the first team. And you have to give them some kind of, shot at it. Because they get this illusion, don't they? And they've got these bloody agents now saying, well, I can get you such and such at such and such club down in England. And they don't think twice. They say, well, okay, get me out of here. We've already lost Pats, and I don't want to see him losing the likes of a Lowry again. Let's get a boy a chance. If it don't work and he's not good enough, then we've found out.
Andy.
Yeah.
Andy. You just mentioned a player there, Patterson. I totally forgot about him. I mean, I don't think he's been any great loss. It would have been great to see him in the team, one of your own and that. But now he's away, it's not been any great losses, is it?
Not to the team now. No, I agree.
You know what I'm saying, buddy?
But you see, the thing with Patterson now, the thing with Patterson, right enough, is Lampard, from what I'm getting down here, don't fancy him. He's took a bad injury down here at the moment, so you don't really know what he would have done there down at Everton. But the fact that he's away, we've not missed him. I will say that because you've got back in that.
He might be playing the Championship next season as well.
The thing about it is we signed the Polish boy at right back. I've only seen him a couple of times. He looks, Alex Kelly, he looks similar to like Patterson, same size, stature. He's very quick. He looks like he wants to attack. I looked at sort of when we've bought him, and he's about a similar stage in his career as what Patterson was. Apart from he'd go just at more international caps there, obviously, but there's not much to compete against up here, is there? But he'd started to break through into the national team. But apart from that boy that we've signed is very similar to Patterson by the looks of it.
No, that's good though. It's a development, obviously, that Ross Wilson's spotted on him. When you consider it as good business, but I just didn't like the fact that Patterson was one of ours, and there was a chance for him to progress to win trophies in our team. But the form at Aberdeen this year has been so good. I don't think Patterson would have got many opportunities between January and up to now anyway, because Taverniers are never present. He's never injured. the guy's an absolute machine going up and down that wing. I don't know where he gets his energy from, but he's really stood out. He's really come up to the plate in the last few months, as has a lot of the players, by the way. I've been critical as well of Golson, as you know. I thought Golson was outstanding last night. Some of the boys he was spraying about in the first quarter, an hour, 20 minutes, both flanks, absolutely fantastic. I thought Ryan Kent put in a brilliant shift last night as well. But Lundstrom, as I say, mind you's all laughed at me. I said he could step into defence. Gio's using him that way, but he's also using him as midfield to step forward. He's been a great signing.
Once.
The boys on that panel did.
I think
that banger for Leeds.
I don't think.
Hey, Alex, it was me that was telling you. It was me that was telling you to look out for Big John, not me. I was just telling me what you were telling me what to say.
I think Alex, I think when you were saying it, Bridge, I think when he was saying it, you were meaning like the way I thought you meant, like you'd fill in for like a Golston or a Balogun and play like together, right? I know he fills in when they're beside him or a Bassey, so but I didn't see him as a natural centre back. But I think he can sit in there and step forward. And you seen him playing right, Bridge.
Yeah,
but I think going forward next season, when Gio changes the squad, I think Lundstrom will find a permanent position, Bridge.
Yeah, look, if we're going to go 3 or maybe even 5 at the back, things like that, you're losing Lundstrom's strength, which is in midfield, let's say. And if he drops back all the time, you got a huge big gap to fill there. With his skills. You watched him last night and you saw when he came out, he did all the wonderful stuff. He's chasing, he's running in, frightening people, all that nonsense was going and scoring. If he was playing in a back three, he wouldn't be doing that. It just wouldn't be happening. So they need to watch what they're doing. I've said this all the time. We need to play, if we're going to play 3 at the back, we need to get a proper 3 at the back. A proper 3 at the back. Not a makeshift 3 at the back, a proper 3 at the back. I don't know when they're going to do it because I've been waiting a centre half for years. Maybe not going to get it either, you know. So that's the way I feel anyway. I'm so happy. Everybody listen, I'm really, really happy. I've never been so happy with Rangers, never been so happy. It's just one of the greatest nights I've ever had in my life at any time. Just fabulous, just fabulous.
I think it's up there. I've thought about it since I came away, and I still always say Fiorentina away that night was unbelievable. Knowing that you were getting to a European final, but obviously no all the Bears like last night was you could be in Fiorentina, but that night, just because I never thought I'd see a European final, but that night, last night was unbelievable. It's up there, and Dynamo Kiev, people going about the atmosphere, but it was only about the last 10-15 minutes. Ibrox was rocking, everybody was sitting silent for most of that game in case they scored. But Parma, Leeds United, you know, that's what I thought, Alex. Last night, I think probably top 10 that I've actually been to now, because I think it was just that amount of people on their feet screaming and bawling for the amount of time. I just think it intimidated him, Alex.
100%. I definitely see when I seen the team. I don't know what your thoughts was. It was the exact same team as what he picked in Germany, but they played so differently. Because the way I seen it was, we really need to start quick here. We really need to get the crowd on board. But they didn't. I thought they was going to play a wee bit cagey just to keep yourself in the tie for half time. But they didn't. They started on the front foot. They started aggressive, shutting down. And I just thought the performance overall was brilliant. I mean, there was that period, probably quarter an hour, 20 minutes, second half. I thought they were had us penned in a wee bit. But then the crowd, once they scored, the crowd kind of surged again and lifted the players to push on. It was absolutely brilliant to watch. It really was a proud night.
I think that was just the shape, Big Al, when we made the subs, when Jack had to come off and obviously Balogun.
Yeah.
You know, it just lost that wee bit of sort of shape, or maybe
took us a wee bit to come back.
Arfield was maybe sitting a wee bit deeper, and we weren't wanting a bit close forward, but we lost a wee bit of momentum there, I thought, at that point, Big Al, you know. But obviously when we score again, it changes the game. But They're a
Look,
good team.
I
They're always
think-
going to put you under pressure.
They're going to do that, but I think we've proved that you can say what you can say about finances, but just looking at it as men against men or boys against boys, we were the better team over the two legs, I think. Even the first game, I thought they were all right, but we didn't allow them to punish us.
They
This
should have
game we came
scored
out, we got-
earlier. The boy
I bet
ran
they
round
didn't.
McGregor.
I
I know they didn't, but
I know. I think we
you
were a
know,
wee bit more positive. I think no, it could have been there. No, they went back to Germany. Huh? Maybe they got one of the German bombers to take them home because they didn't drop any bombs last night. I tell you that. And just another thing, another thing while I'm on, I was listening to you when I was coming home from work yesterday on the replay thing, and somebody mentioned. Scottish football tried to sink us, and somebody said they didn't. Scottish football did sink us, but you know what happened? They didn't realise Glasgow Rangers is made like a Royal Navy nuclear submarine, and we just resurfaced and started firing the big guns. And I'm really glad that Scottish football is still here, survived this long to watch us, because they can get it right round our manky holes, every one of them.
well, we all know what they try to do, mate. You know, and there'll be a lot of. I could sit and write
I know,
a
but I
list
thought,
of them
let me
that
get
I'll
that
be
off my
sitting
chest,
there.
because I was sitting in the car. I was like, I need to say something. And also yesterday, just before I left work, I had to go into the show. I'm saying I'm down in Sydney, and I was in the lift. It's a wee English guy and his mother. So I shout out to Tom and Teresa. Tom was over the moon that we got to the final. He's a Fulham fan himself. I just met him. He came in and I said to the woman, "Ian, you come, darling." She said, "Oh, you're Scottish, blah, blah, blah." He says, "You're a Rangers fan?" I said, "Yes, buddy." He says, he's shaking my hand. He said, "I'm really pleased for you. I'm really glad. Go on, I hope he's go there. I hope he's beat the Germans. Hope you lift the cup and bring it back to the UK." So, Tom, if you're listening, pal, probably isn't he? But thanks very much for that. I was very proud, and I was very happy that another fellow Brit was pleased for our club,
Aye. I think Andy. I think we got a bit. I seen a bit of the coverage on BT and seen it on Sky. They seem to be lauding us. You know, certainly giving us plenty of credit.
Yeah, I got nothing but congratulations here at work here today, right enough. And all that talk radio and all that, they were banging up that Cundy and that other guy that sits with him. They were raving about, so that's all good press for us doing here and that. But people can see what's going on, even down here that don't get it, as I've said many, many times. This is Scottish football for you, and you know what they like to do is they like to kill us, sell out Saturdays and all that. But, we were never going to remember, right. There was a piece there when we won the Winners' Cup in '72 when we went over to, play the Russians. John Gregg, I've actually got a video somewhere, turned around and he said, I looked at all the Rangers fans. They turned around to all the guys on the bus. He said, right, we lost the last final. There's no way we're going to lose this one. This might just have the same kind of feel about it,
You cannot come off that park, man, without that cup.
I don't think we will. I don't think we will.
I don't think we
we'll
will either.
Word for it,
Aye. They have to.
We're hoping by the time we're hoping now that we're there, that looking at the league fixtures, we can start to obviously rest players before we play Hearts at Tynecastle. I'd expect that to be a shadow team to get to play them on the Wednesday in the final. So even our turning attentions to Sunday, Alex, do you see many changes? Do you think maybe goalkeeper or anything? Do you see anything that we might change? See a Diallo coming in or anything?
Well, I hope no. I can't go that way at all. I wouldn't mind McLaughlin coming in. McLaughlin can find himself very unlucky. That performance he put in the semi-final and that, he was outstanding. So he can find himself very unlucky. But by the way, you got to tip your hat to McGregor today. 2008, he missed out in the final because of injury. Neil Alexander was our keeper. So this is a wee bit of retribution for Griggsy too, but no, I would like to see that, like say a McCann or a Lowry introduced into the team. Maybe not for start, but certainly get some game time and get formalised with the surroundings, the Rangers team and the Rangers support. But I was just going to mention, just on the finances, briefly, our 3 goal scorers last night: Tavernier, 250,000; Kamara, 50,000; Lundstrom, a free. 300 grand to get to the UEFA final there last night. Wow.
I suppose if you look at the setup of the team there, Bridge, then basically Tav was more or less playing right mid, wasn't he, for most of the game. You've got Kamara scoring midfielder, and you've also got Lundstrom scoring midfielder. You know?
Yes, like, you see what team, you see what players. Personally, I'll tell you right now, if it was me, providing there's nobody injured, carrying injuries, knocks, or anything like that, then I would put him straight back in Sunday, straight back in. That's what I would do. Definitely keep them there, and because we want to keep the engine running. The engine's got to keep running and running and running, and they don't need to be killing themselves. They're good players. They know what they're doing. We should be able to outplay anybody. I think we should play them in and get themselves set up for the final. That's what I want. The manager will know what to do to calm them all down for the final. He might find a wee place to rest their feet or whatever. But I would play them. I would definitely put them in against Dundee United. Definitely.
Same team, Bridge, yeah?
Yeah, I would go with the same team, unless there's any knocks, right? Unless there's any knocks or his thoughts where he couldn't get Roof. Just for saying, he was hoping Roof would have made it the last time. He maybe went Roof for the final, so he needs to play no matter what. Well, I'm sure the manager he knows what he's doing far better than I do. So he'll put Roof in. And what's his name? Ramsey. These players they'll play. They'll be first picks if he thinks they're going to need them. That's what I think. Personally, I would go with the same squad.
I go, Alex.
Just briefly again, sorry. Cast your mind back to 2008. I think Zenit, the Russian FA, actually cancelled or postponed their last 3 or 4 fixtures, or moved them, or they done something with them. They had about 3 weeks or 4 weeks to prepare for that UEFA final, and I think that was pretty prominent on the night. I think if Walter had the same opportunity, he would have rested players, but he didn't have that because we were still going for the league title.
Aye, I mean, for the length of games it's left, Alex, the heart will always say you want to win the league, but it's basically gone. All our attention basically is on. I know it's no mathematical and that, but we still have to win the 3 points on Sunday. But the Europa League now is where the focus is, and also the Scottish Cup. So I think we can probably change the team a bit. I think he'll freshen it a bit. I don't see him doing what Bridge says, although he could, but I don't see him, Big Al, going with that same team. I think he'll change a few changes.
But you see, the game personally, for me, the game isn't that far away. So I would want to be keeping everybody's feet level and on the ground. No, because you take players out and rest them, and their mind starts to wander a wee bit. Just focus on the games that are coming up. And we treat this UEFA Cup. We know it's very, very important, but we treat it as another game. And a day or two before it, the battle fever then hits. I think maybe. I don't know. I would play my players. I would be playing my players because I trust my players. I'd be saying to them, I trust you. You know what it's like to play against these teams in the Scottish Premier League. We've got that game, but it's a couple of weeks away, so we'll just keep our feet firmly on the ground for the moment. And when we get there, the excitement and that will build up the week coming into the game or whenever. But I would kind of go with Bridge and. He is a wise old owl, isn't he? He's been there, seen it, he's done it. He's smuggled stuff out of South Africa. He knows what he's talking about. I would play my team. Maybe one or two things. If there's injuries, you need to change it. But no, I would try to keep that consistency.
Would you?
And that's just a personal thing. I think it's important.
Andy, we've got Dundee United, and then we've got Ross County Wednesday, and then we've got Hearts on the Sunday, and then the following Wednesday we're playing the final. So if you look at it from that point of view, Andy, I think he's got to refresh and jig a wee bit because you want to keep players really fresh, and I think the Hearts game will tell Well, you'll probably drop more than you'll probably think, but I wouldn't be a miss if a Tav didn't get picked one week to refresh him and that, because he's played a lot of football and so's Goulson.
Yeah, I kind of see that, right. I think he'll go there as strong as he can, Dundee United, but that could depend on whether Hearts beat Gearham, take a draw off, or even beat them, Then you would be looking at a different psyche altogether, wouldn't you? Because you'd start thinking, hey, wait a minute, strange things can happen. But I think the one that you said there, the one before the Scottish Cup final, the last game, I think that you'll not recognise that team. I'm pretty sure of that, because hopefully they would have put in all the effort as well. Oh, wait a minute, no, that's after the Hearts game, and I'm thinking that was before. No, I don't think they'll do it on the last game. I think there'll be a few changes there. They'll want to get them as tuned up as he can, or get a wee bit into the legs or whatever. But I get Al's point as well, that while they're on this roll, don't smash it up. Hey, anybody heard about how Jack's got on there? Is that just an injury? I thought he got that injury for picking up that tackle that Alec mentioned there, right enough. Just after that, I keep watching him all the time. I think about him. I thought he didn't look right. As I said, I don't think he's been right for the last few weeks. I'm just wondering if that's just an ankle knock for the tackle he put on there, or it's just a reoccurrence of what's been going on, in his career there.
I think I've not heard anything at all yet. And I think, obviously, he might have seen the sort of tackle the way he slid in. But knowing Jack was a soldier done anyway, and obviously it got to a point where he's had to come off. But no, I think there'll be a special atmosphere on Sunday as well. I'm hearing something about going where they're sort of Rangers tops for the 80s and the 90s and the 2000s and that, whatever you've got. They're looking for supporters are looking to do that. Probably weather permitting. But I think it's something. I think it'll be special on Sunday, Alex, when the team come out for the league game, after achieving what they've just achieved there.
100%, mate. Yeah, and it's appointing days as well as remembrance about Jimmy, isn't it? And you've seen how much emotion come out in the players, and even Gio last night. Their first thoughts as soon as they're scoring a goal, Kamara taking off his armband and Bassey rolling up to the car. Now, that was for you, Jimmy. We love you, pal. You can't underline how much you actually came across to the players for generations. Feeding the players what it means to play for our club. Some of the stories that's coming out, absolutely brilliant. He must have been some character, but he'll be sadly missed, won't he?
Just on that then, see when you're saying that about Jimmy Bell, well, remember you've always said Tavs know this, Tavs know that, this one. Well, maybe Jimmy did install it into them,
Aye.
I did say, I think Borna, I look at Borna, I looked at his interview, I thought it was brilliant. The way obviously he spoke about Jimmy Bell, but to talk about the support and the feeling when it made him proud, and when he's getting it, we're going to Seville to battle and to win this. A lot of people question Borna sometimes and stuff, but Borna gets the club, Big Al. In my opinion, he gets the club. He's been there long enough. Players can have bad games, Big Al, and I stuck up for him.
He's had a bad 6 months, but I like Borna Barisic.
I stuck up for him. I stuck up for him when he gave us a doing up there. Only because the whole team were culpable for that whole result, but Kent didn't help him, and they doubled up on him, and I slept for the goal near, similar to the one the other week. But to me, Borna Barisic gets it and knows the club, and I loved his
he's good pals with two. Well, maybe one's a kind of approaching a Rangers legend and Papach for his longevity. And I'd say maybe a Rangers hero in Jelic. So they're in his ear, fellow kind of countrymen for that area of the world. But see, going back to and I've watched a lot of the content, over the past day and last night. It was great and really refreshing to see the players all singing Blue Sea Ibrox. That's just wonderful. That shows the players have got that connection. The manager was singing it. It was really, I really loved that when I was sitting watching it. But one thing that I noticed during the weekend, I think it sums up the whole ethos at Glasgow Rangers, and it's an ethos that I kind of try and carry myself, and I'm sure you guys on the panel, I know Bridges got it because I can hear it in him, is when Steven Gerrard walked into the home dressing room and Jimmy Bill's putting the tops up and he just kind of put his hand out and said, hello, Mr. Gerrard. That respect thing, that summed up Glasgow Rangers Football Club for me. So God bless you, Jimmy Bill. I think it was a poignant moment. It'll always stick with me.
Here, Big Al. Here.
Yeah, a massive.
You know what I'm talking about. You seen it. Seen it. You know what I'm talking about. Eh? And the way he done that. He's an older man. I know Steven Gerrard's a world class football player and that, but it was a position thing. Yeah, you might not like the guy, but you've got to. His office, you've got to respect the office, and that's what Jimmy Bell showed that day. By speaking to Steven Gerrard and calling him Mr. Gerrard. I thought that was really, really good. Yes.
See another thing, pal. You've probably seen the pictures of it. See when all the players are coming out there, shirt and tie, and dressed.
Aye.
I think that was how much respect that the players had for them.
Yeah. Aye.
I thought that was very poignant.
I was just using it as a kind of analogy of the club as a whole. That thing. I'm sure that we're all respectful in that. I think it's, you have a black suit on and you have a shirt and tie, nice clean collar.
It's all about standards, Big Al, and we've always
definitely.
Bolster have set the standards a way back, and certain managers have
I think that's in our greater community as well. You have that in the greater. You go to the boys' brigade, you polish your shoes, polish your belt, and tidy your hat up, and you go clean and tidy. You know what I mean?
Standards.
You've got the standards, and that's a thing that Glasgow Rangers is certainly one of the things that's put into me.
I think they slipped a wee bit. I don't know. Maybe standards. Maybe I might be talking out of turn, but I think certain standards a while back did slip in. A lack of professionalism and all was creeping into the club, and I think when Stevie G came in, he put that back on the map.
I think there's reasons behind that.
There always will be reasons for it.
No way, our standards didn't drop, did it? You still wanted the best, did you know?
Oh, we demand the best, big man.
Aye, and the people
demand the best.
Drag their standards down. They didn't have a blue hat.
No, I don't.
So aye.
I just think. I mean, standards as in maybe training methods, training way they were conducting themselves. Some of them on the park and that. And I just don't think it was the one.
Aye, but they weren't the true Rangers men, were they? They weren't the true. Rangers men.
Maybe they weren't just good enough. Maybe they just weren't quality enough at the time to get us back. Anyway, I think. We're getting to that time of the evening anyway, Big Al. So, how did it make you feel? How did it feel at the end up, big man, watching that? Absolutely.
I had a massive stoner. So I had a massive stoner, man.
We are 6'7", big man, so I'm sure it was up to the ceiling.
Well, the woman said to me once, that's like a Coke can. I said, right. That's a true story, by the way. She said, a key ring with a Coke can on it. Right. Thanks very much, boys.
No worries, Big Al.
God bless you. Take care. All the best.
Catch you soon. What can you say to that? Andy, I take it you'll be on the hunt to get to Sevilla.
I had a word with her over at the school, but she's not playing. But you never know what could happen, right enough,
Put the charm on, pal. Turn the charm on.
I don't think that'll work with that woman. That's another story, But like wherever I see it, hopefully I'm still, wherever I see it, I'll get to, watch it. I'll be there with all these in spirit. That, and as I say, since I come across you guys, I've had the best time of following Rangers, and I've met many, many fans along the way. But coming in this journey that we're all having together, I wouldn't swap that for all the years I've been following the Rangers. And long may it continue. And fantastic show. brilliant. As I say, for all you guys that go to the games all the time, I'm absolutely over the moon for you and the young team. As I say, I really want them to have the stories that we've got. So I hope the Rangers do it for them as well. As well, all the family, all the people in the feed and everybody that I've come across it knows what I'm on about. But we all get it anyway. We can't truly explain it, but we get it, don't we?
Brilliant,
we all understand
Andy.
each other, you know.
Thanks very much, mate, for phoning in tonight. I appreciate it. Alex, will you quickly with the last word, and then we'll go to Marcel and Bridge.
No worries. No, thanks for taking my call again. Always a pleasure to come on and speak to you boys. So happy for the support. Let's go and win it now.
Here. Bridgeman.
Oh, what can I say? Fabulous night. Well done there, Southside. Well done. And thanks to all the techie guys in the background as well. Can I just say, this game coming up, I know we had a big game last night, and it's, to me, the best I've ever seen. But this is the biggest game of the season now, coming up on us, which is the next game at Ibrox. We need to win that game. I don't care what anybody says. We need to get 3 points out of that game, and let's see if we can do it. So everybody, please, all the Rangers fans all over the world, and particularly Rangers fans on here, on Rangers Radio, every single one is out there for the Rangers. Keep it going for the Rangers, because they need us, and so do they. Keep it going.
Thanks, Bridge. I'd like to thank you, Bridge, as well, for coming on this evening and joining us. I'd like to thank you very much, mate. I'd also like to thank Big Al and Blue Star, Andy for Crookston, Andy for Leeds, and also Jim for Surrey and his dog Bobby. We'll be back at 2 p.m. on Sunday for the pre-match show. I'd also like to thank Alex Kelly. I'd like to thank him as well for coming on, as always.
Cheers,
we'll be back, All School Blue and Fox for doing the technicals. So thanks very much for listening. Good night, and thanks for last night, Rangers, and 3 points on Sunday. Let's go.
Let's get this team on the roll. Come on, boys, hit the back of the net, but we haven't seen a bad goal yet. Hammer one home, boys, hammer one home. This goalkeeper couldn't save his soul. Come on, boys, give us a goal. Hammer one home, boys, hammer one home. Left leg or right leg, you can use any peg. Let's get this team on the run. Free kick, any trick, you can take your pick. We will take it any way it counts. Hammer one home, boys, hammer one home. Let's get this team on the roll. Come on, boys, hit the back of the net, but we haven't seen a bad goal yet. Hammer one home, boys, hammer one home. This goalkeeper couldn't save his soul. Come on, boys, give us a goal. Hammer one home, boys, hammer one home. Who'll be the next element Christ? The next Mark Anthony, the one to rejoice. Who'll be the one to save the day? Who'll be the one to tuck the ball away? Come on, boys, a little more pain. Come on, boys, you can do it again. Come on, boys, when the going gets tough, you gotta dig deep like Richard Goff. Hammer one home, boys, hammer one home. Let's get this team on the roll. Come on, boys, hit the back of the net, but we haven't seen a bad goal yet. Hammer one home, boys, hammer one home. This goalkeeper couldn't save his soul. Come on, boys, give us a goal. Hammer one home, boys, hammer one home. Who's gonna be the next John Gray? Sandy Jardine show the way. Who'll be the one to make the play? Who'll get the chairs will win today? Hammer one home, boys, hammer one home. Let's get this team on the roll. Come on, boys, hit the back of the net, but we haven't seen a bad goal yet. Hammer one home, boys, hammer one home. This goalkeeper couldn't save his soul. Come on, boys, give us a goal.